What's up? I'm Mike, N2MAK. Forget the unboxing, let's just jump right into it at a POTA threefer. So this is the Radioddity DB50-B. And yes, just to get it out of the way, Radioddity did send me the radio for my evaluation and whatnot. So there are spurious commissions involved. Certainly I'll leave affiliate links down below if you're interested. But let's get into this and let's actually do this totally backwards. Let me give you some of my thoughts on it so far, you know, and then we'll get to the unboxing and the testing and all that. So I finally got it out of the box and set up the other day. I was coming out today. It's Work Band Wednesday, and I've been going out early to do 30 meter FT8 and Winlink Wednesday and all that fun stuff. So I figured, why not just bring it along? And I gotta say, I've been using it for less than 24 hours. I set it up yesterday, checked into a couple nets, tested some things, you know, got some channels programmed in and all that and stuff. But man, like, there's a lot that you can do with this radio. I was very interested in it because it has APRS and it has a KISS TNC. And as someone who I've been doing Winlink Wednesday and APRS Thursday using a MobiLink TNC connected to an HT, I was really interested in having a radio that had that functionality built into it. Just one less piece of kit to bring out in the field or when I travel, like I do a lot for work. So, so yeah, no, I brought it out and I got two meter FM contacts.
QSL, good to hear this morning, Mike. Thanks for the contact. Good luck today.
Roger. Good to get you in the log here. I'm just doing a 30 meter FT8 and I got one in the log. I got to get logged right now. So I'll let you get going. 7.3 N2MAK.
Good to hear. Have a nice day. Good luck. K2EKS.
And then just did Winlink Wednesday and checked into that. And it's working. It's working great. I'm really excited to continue to use this. But here's my hang up on this right now that's going to take a lot of getting used to is the fact that there's no numbers on the keypad. I'm so used to having, you know, a keypad, and let me grab the other one here. This is for that's horrible angle, but there you go. That's the Radioddity DB20. I'm used to just having a keypad, and, you know, maybe old habits die hard. You know how we can be as hams, right? You know, we kind of get stuck in our ways and, heaven forbid that, you know, somebody comes along and does something different or actually innovates and whatnot. But yeah, that's going to probably be the biggest adjustment. There's lots of programmable side key buttons and things like that. You know, and at the end of the day, when I'm traveling back and forth in the car, you know, to work, I'm only talking on two different repeaters and then listening to, you know, 2 meter FM in the background, you know, in case someone's calling. So it's probably not the end of the world. And maybe after I use it for more than a day, I'll actually, it'll start to grow on me. We'll see. I am a Mac user, so I have an iPhone, and I've seen quite a few videos that, you know, talk about the app functionality, because a lot of what you can do, programming controls, is built into the app. And there's the HT app. I'm actually using the BTEC app because I saw a couple of reviews said you can use the BTEC or the HT app. Radioddity provides instructions for the HT app, but I saw a couple more positive things about the BTEC, so I'm giving that a shot right now. I'll probably try the HT one down the road as well, since I really want to do a lot of testing. And this is kind of, like I said, this is the unboxing in reverse, giving you my thoughts, and then I'll show you some B-roll footage of my tests with the power output and size comparisons. But so far, so good. That's working fine. I haven't had any issues, and I know that they say that the iOS app is not as fully functional as Android. I don't have any Android stuff. Like I said, I'm a Mac guy. So I have no issues with it right now. I know one of the things is I can't use the phone. It has a wireless mic and with a PTT on it and stuff. But to me, that's not so important right now. And stuff, but yeah, no, I'm liking it. I'm real happy with it. The other thing that I noticed, this would be the only other complaint, was when I was doing one of the 2 meter contacts that I had. I had 2 meters on the sub band, and then on the A band was our local repeater, and people were actually starting to get active on that repeater, and it kept switching over when I was in the middle of a simplex contact. Usually when I have a dual VFO, and you switch between the A and the B, it's not going to automatically jump back over when you're in the middle of QSOs and stuff, it seems. So I don't know. I'm not sure what, I got to toy around with the settings a little bit more. If you've encountered that, let me know. Because I do like the idea, especially with a mobile, of having, a B band and being able to put 2 meters on there. It's not often that I'll get calls or hear traffic on 2 meters, but I still do. And I've actually picked up a couple 2 meter calls on my way into work the last month. So you never know. And it was a little frustrating where I'm trying to do a QSO and it's jumping back and forth, but part of it might be user error. And I'm just learning this thing. Like I said, it hasn't even been 24 hours. So those are the 2 things that are really jumping out at me right now with this is how it's going to be without a keypad, and then like I said, that issue with the A and the B band. But with the functionality that's in here so far, it's been a piece of cake using it with APRS.fi. I'm using the APRS.fi app on my phone right now, and RadioMail for Winlink. That was real easy. It was a little different, the fact that you can't use chirp, but I still did a couple conversions and was able to upload a couple CSV files and create channel groups for home. And then also I did a GMRS group. I did power testing because I wanted to check the power output, but more importantly, for me, I wanted to check the current draw because my current setup, I'm running just from the cigarette lighter. Now, the DB20 is a 20 watt radio, so I'm not worried about current draw with that. And then, what was the last thought? Trying to do this all in one take because it's cold, but the cold, it messes with your brain, right? I did some size comparisons because when I first got my hands on it, I think it was a lot smaller than I thought. Now, it's not as small as a DB20, but compared to like some other mobiles and stuff, this is small. So that gets me thinking about mounting options if I'm going to do it, put it in the car. But I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I'm going to do it in the car. I wonder if this makes more sense for a base station at home or turning it into, an iGate or a DigiPeter or something. I got to play with it some more. But I got a lot of questions. I'm excited. But I also want to hear what questions you have about this, since I'm just starting to play with this, and I'm going to probably do at least 1 or 2 more videos on my adventures with it. So let me know what interests you about this radio, and I'll do my best to work those into some future videos. All right, let's watch some of that B-roll footage. I'll do some voiceover, and then we'll come back and I'll wrap this thing up. All right, let's take a look at the radio and what you get in the box with it. Obviously, you get the radio, speaker mic, mounting bracket, power cable. The other things that I left in the box include obviously the manual, but also the HT app manual. There's the mounting hardware for the bracket, spare fuse, and a hanger for the microphone. But pretty much everything that you would expect in a mobile radio. So let's put that back in the box and just kind of get that off to the side. And then we'll take a look at a few other things. Actually, real quick, The power cable, it's nice. It's good beefy thickness. I did put power poles on it, as you would expect. The ends were pretty much just bare and tinned. And the mounting bracket, while I got it out, is pretty basic. Nothing fancy about that at all, but at least they do include it, which is nice. Also, worth pointing out, there is a USB cover or USB port on the front of the base unit. You could use this for charging. It's just USB-A, but it is there. And there's a quick look at the speaker mic, which is a little bit smaller than I was expecting for everything that it does. But yeah. All right, let's do some comparisons here to see how this radio stacks up and kind of put this in perspective, because the base unit was definitely smaller than I was expecting. So here's our standard unit of measurement, the Bofang, the UV5R. We'll start with that. As you can see, it's the base unit really isn't too big. It's probably 2.5 Bofangs wide. Here it is with the Baofeng Mini, which, as you can see, is smaller than the regular Baofeng, but twice as controversial. There it is, lengthwise, widthwise. Maybe 3 Baofeng Minis is about the size of this thing. Now here it is with the Radioddity DB50. This is the radio that currently is in my car, one of the micro mobiles. Radiovis and Anytone make similar versions. And you can see it's just a little bit bigger, which we would certainly expect for a 50 watt radio versus a 20. But it's not too much bigger. And now here we have a traditional mobile. This is the ICOM ID 880H. It's a dual band 50 watt D-Star mobile radio, and you can see it is much bigger. It's definitely way deeper. Obviously it has to have a display, but you can see that's not taking up much space, but way deeper than the Radioddity mobile. You can see it covering it up. There's the Radioddity is hard to see from that fixed angle. It's just a little bit, this is better now, just a little bit wider, but the ICOM is much bigger and heavier too, I would note. And since we got this here, let's compare speaker mics so you can get an idea size-wise. The Radioddity, like I said, it's not as big as I thought it was going to be for an all-in-one speaker mic display. Here it is next to the DB20 microphone, and obviously that's going to be much smaller, but really isn't too much smaller. So that should give you hopefully a good idea and put things into a better perspective with size. But enough of size, let's test some power. We're on low power, 2 meters, 146.52, and we'll key up and we'll see we're getting about 3.3 amps we're drawn, and maybe 6.9 watts is what we're getting out. That's what we'll call it. Let's move to a medium power and see what we get here. Okay, yep, just confirming it is medium power, and we are drawn just over 6 amps and putting out 23.5 watts. So that's medium power, and let's check high power before we switch to UHF. I'm wondering if there's a shortcut key to quickly adjust the power. That's definitely something I'd like to know. Some of these side keys are programmable. I got to look into that some more. So high power, we're pulling 8.5 watts, and we're putting out just under 46 watts of power. On high power, it's rated for 50. I'm content with that, and we're getting 5.5 watts out on UHF, 70 centimeters, 446. Let's see now. Put that on medium and see what we get here. Medium power, we're pulling 4.5 amps, getting out just under 20 watts, 19 point something. And now high power on 70 centimeters. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we're only putting out, it's just under 38 watts, 37.9, and we're pulling maybe roughly 7 amps. And that's on 70 centimeters. So that's lower. I would usually expect to see UHF lower, but it seemed to be a little bit lower than what I was expecting to be realistic. But I'm actually more concerned about the current draw in case I want to run this from a cigarette lighter in the car, and that is limited to 120 watts based on the current draw and stuff. I think that we are definitely safe if I wanted to run full power. Now I got this set up for GMRS, and we're on channel 25, one of the repeater channels. Low power, we're getting out just under 4 watts, pulling just over 2 amps, and we will check medium power real quick and see what we got there. I picked channel 25 just randomly. The radio happened to be on that, but it's one of the repeater channels, so we're allowed to put out up to 50 watts on it. Now this is just medium power, and we're putting out just over 14 watts, pulling just over about 14.2 amps. And lastly, we'll check high power on GMRS. This is not a GMRS radio, but clearly it'll transmit out of band. So we're not expecting it to put out the full 50. It's not calibrated or adjusted for that. And it's way short of 50, as you can see, just over 16 watts at just over 6 amp draw. All right, that'll do it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it was helpful. And like I said, I haven't been using this for 24 hours yet. But I'm excited. I'm excited about the features that this has. This might be a really good radio for me. And it might be a really good radio for you too. If you do a lot of Winlink or APRS, regardless if you're a Mac user or Android user, this could be the one for you. And at the price, you're getting quite a bit of functionality and value. So I'm looking forward to using this some more, but let me know what your questions are, and let me know what your interests are in this radio, because I'm going to do some more videos on it, and I'd love to incorporate those and try to answer and address some of those. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet and you made it this far, please click like, subscribe to my channel. I'm Mike, N2MAK 73.